We're going live. Yay. We are live. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Welcome everyone to the E'Claire Makery Podcast. I am so excited to have you all here today. Let me know if the chat is working. Right now it's saying that I can't connect to the chat, but let me know if it works, and hopefully it'll get going so you guys can give us your questions and everything, because we would love to answer anything you guys want to ask us about throughout this interview. I am so excited to have one of a Kate here. She is one of my Instagram friends, and we are going to be talking all about pattern testing. Kate is a very seasoned pattern tester, and I'm so excited she's here to share all of her knowledge with you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So Kate, go ahead and introduce yourself, give us a little bit of your background, and share how you got started crocheting.
Oh geez, I probably should have had this prepared.
That's okay.
Like my first interview, so excuse me. But yeah, I'm Kate. I'm Kate. I've just actually started getting into the YouTube, so I admire what all you have done with your YouTube and the interviewing, and I'm so honored to be here. I started crocheting about 2003 or 4, which is right after I graduated high school, and when I got into college, I had moved states, and I didn't really know anybody. And then so once I got into college, I didn't have a cell phone, I didn't have a car, I didn't have any of those things, and so I just began teaching myself all kinds of new things, and crochet was one of them. It's just stuck with me since. And it's just I would say I kind of dropped it for a few years in there, but I picked it back up and went heavy with it at least 7 years ago. 2013 is when I came up with the name One of a Kate, and I tried the whole like Etsy thing. I never made a sale on there, and I started to design in 2018. I did my first design in September, and I guess that leads me to now. I mean, for the most part.
That totally does. And it's been fun getting to know you. I feel like you were one of the first people that I met and connected with on Instagram, and it's been really fun to see both of us have this journey of learning who we are as crocheters. And I gotta say, you are one of the people that I've been trying recently, because since you have that background in modeling, I've been trying to I'm like, how does Kate pose? And I have so many bad photos of me trying to have that model face of the looking amazing, and I just start laughing.
No laughing. Action. And then taking as many photos in the action is the best way to get the most candid shot for sure. I take my own pictures, so I have 10 seconds to get poised. But I do like the fierce look. I know a lot of people do better with a smile look. So
I'm definitely more the smile.
And the look off in the distance. You're really thinking about the trees and how beautiful they flow.
I was doing that yesterday.
I mean, we don't all have a beautiful beach like Tanya does.
I know, right? Looking into an actual gorgeous sunset versus just being like, yep, here's my fence wall. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So how did you get started doing pattern testing? Did you just see some designer calls, or how do people get started doing that?
Gosh, I wish I could remember who the very first test was. I know Lady J Crochet was my first knit test, I think. And my first crochet test, I feel was Meg Made with
crochet
Love,
test, I feel.
And Life and Yarn. And Life and Yarn, is one of my IG BFFs. I've gotten to grow kind of with her in some sense.
Brianna is
already
amazing before,
and so I got to do a lot of testing with her. She She just I mean, I guess she done a good job. And she just was like, you can test anytime. And now she since has developed like a Facebook group. So it's of people that she has tested with her before that are in there. And then, but for the I can't get my words together. But for the most part, like I would say join people's newsletters, and they usually have like pattern testing applications like in their Instagram or online in their website where it will take you to whatever form they have to enter it into. Like Chantal of Knititude, she has one, and TL Yarncraft, Tony has one. And you get like regular newsletters before anybody ever hears about the test. Before they even shout it on Instagram. But when I first started, I think that's where I saw it, was just Instagram shout-outs. And then I had also joined some groups on Facebook where like testers and designers joined together, and you could like volunteer for the test, or you could be a designer and then shout the test out. I'm not really in those anymore, but they are good for a starting place.
Yeah, I know it's been interesting of seeing as I've been going through this different designing period of getting back into garments again, of seeing how, okay, I started out with just doing the Instagram calls, but now I'm in more Facebook groups. I have a bigger newsletter so I can share about pattern tests on there, because I wasn't getting as many people from Instagram. But those the Facebook groups that you mentioned, I use those a lot, and I know that like there's ones for plus size testers. Which,
I heard about that one. Yeah,
that one's awesome. I was having a hard time finding some testers for plus sizes, and then I just put the call out on there. It was great.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
That's okay.
There's also a Ravelry group for that.
Oh, nice. I'll have to.
I don't remember what it's called, but so that's probably not very helpful. But there is a Ravelry group for it.
Yeah,
I think it's something like the same as the Facebook. It's like, I'm not in an offensive manner, but it's actually called something like Fat Testers or something like that.
Oh yes, they have an Instagram account. I follow them. I think there's like one, it's Fat Test Knits, and so they do plus size ones and share a bunch of designer calls on there. Oh, is there echoing?
Are there two mics on by the guest speaker?
You know what? I'm sorry about that. We thought that we had the echoing problem solved earlier. We've been testing this a lot.
It's so weird because I'm not hearing the echoing.
Yeah, because we aren't getting any echo. But you know what? Let me go ahead. I'm just gonna try this. I'm going to try muting you and then unmuting you, and we'll see if that works. Guys, let us know if the echoing keeps going. We can't hear it on our end, but we'll try to figure out what to do as we keep going with the interview. And we could even, because one problem we had before,
the echo is on Kate's end.
I wonder if you would put your headphones in, if that would solve it.
Sure, I'll try.
We'll try it, guys. We're gonna fix it. Oh yeah, beaded wind socks. I will let me get the links for the pattern tester groups that we were talking about. And if you want to pattern test, or it's still going. Oh, it's all good?
It's coming and going. The echo will start
and stop. Yeah, they're saying that I'm good.
You're good, it's me.
You're good, it's me. Okay, can you guys hear Kate? Is it still echoing on her?
Oh my god, no! It's my fault!
No!
Okay. Are you back here? Okay.
Is
it any better?
Yeah, guys, let us know if that's any better. We want to make sure that we get it fixed, because we don't want you guys to have echo. Oh, there we go. It's better. Okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay. And if you're seeing a weird thing on the background right now, guys, that's just because Kate had switched apps, but it's going to switch
What
back
did
there.
it
Okay,
look like?
there we go.
What did it look like?
You like disappeared.
Yeah, because it hooked up instead of my tablet. So I was like, ooh.
Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. It's going better. Yeah, so Facebook is a really great place, like we were saying, to find testers, whether you're the designer or you want to test patterns. And Instagram, just keep an eye out for when designers have those calls as well.
Yeah, I think what's hard about the Instagram and even being a designer to shout out is because oftentimes you do it in stories and those get erased so quickly, and only lasts for 24 hours, and you're lucky if somebody got to see it that day or not. Some people, they do, like Stephanie, by Stephanie Aaron, she does hers in an actual post, but she also has like a select testing group that you can join.
Yeah, and she has a newsletter. She uses the newsletter a lot too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So if you are a designer and you are kind of wondering what would be the best platform to do it on, just kind of try all of them, because you'll find your people. They'll come to you. You'll get people who want to keep testing for you over and over. Like Kate tests by Stephanie Aaron all the time. And I have repeated testers that work with me. But it just takes time to find a group of people that fit with your patterns. Has that been kind of your experience too, whether it's been your patterns that you've had tested, Kate, or in groups that you've been in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess people that just like in any kind of other style, you get the fans and you get like the kind of close family, and you just find those people that mesh in that group better. And like the Pretty and Pink Sweater test group, we are all friends now. We just built like a really awesome relationship. It was probably the most dynamic testing group that I've been in. Everybody was just so involved, and everybody was so creative in their own way. Not that you can do a lot of creativity within like testing. You always want to make sure that you're doing what the designer needs. But I don't know, like for instance, handmade by Ro. I don't know how to say her name, but she was really good with the Photoshop and could edit all of us into one nice, awesome picture where we look like superheroes. And then I like to do YouTube videos, so we all like to bring our own little like swing to the whole experience. But it's still like testing where we also have to do like the gauge swatches and follow all the rules of testing.
Right. What have been some of the rules that you've encountered in the different groups that you've been in?
Okay, well, you want to use like the same kind of yarn weight that the designer calls for. It's not always like the exact suggested yarn. Like you don't have to usually do like the exact brand. Sometimes some people have like collaborations with a particular brand or indie dyer, and they do offer like a discount for that or prefer that. But usually you know that ahead of time before you go to sign up. And if that is a stipulation that you cannot like follow through with, don't sign up.
Right.
Like you're really putting those people out. But so I would say use the same yarn weight that they suggest, and then make sure you get the gauge, and that would be the gauge stitch-wise, so width, and the gauge row-wise, height. And then, because if you don't hit the gauge exactly, that affects yardage. And that's probably one of the most important things the designer is looking for in their testers, because it's really hard to guess yardage. So I know, you want to make sure that you have that yardage right. That's another thing too. It's like by the end that you do your project, you want to make sure that you get the amount of weight of your yarn like exact as far as yardage. They don't need to know, like knowing ounces and everything is nice, but designers don't always have the time to sit there and do the math. So it's nice if you could do it for them and tell them the exact yardage that you use. So just like to learn how to count your yardage, like do the math.
Right.
And then a lot of times too, testers really need to know if the math is wrong. If the math is wrong, immediately you need to tell somebody so that everybody involved isn't going on. You can't just be like, oh, well, it doesn't fit here, so I'm going to add a decrease here because or like the stitches, I'm like too extra. I'm just going to make it one stitch. That's not going to work. Like, that's going to mess up whoever buys the pattern later, and that's like defeats the purpose of even being a tester. So you want to make sure to let let the designer know immediately when there's a math problem, and when you go, what else? Yeah, you want to make sure that you block properly so that the finished measurements are also correct. And then you also want to usually get a picture in the, like, say if it's a garment, with yourself, your body in it. Or if you're doing it for a child, the child in it. Yes. Because they want to make sure that the fit is what it was supposed to look like. Hanging it up on a hanger does nothing for anybody. I mean, that's nice, but usually they want to like a human wants to be seen in it.
So true, because otherwise you can't tell the fit. You can't tell, like, okay, wait, was my math right on that part where I was trying to do some shaping? So if you don't see the person in that, then you're just kind of left guessing, like, I think it works, it looks good, I think, but unless you see them, you don't know.
Right. And it's it really is, as a designer, a lot of educated guesses, and you don't know that it works until somebody actually does it. And so you hope that the people that you pick to test for you follow through correctly, But also it's a bit of a marketing thing, for yourself as a tester, getting that kind of exposure to work alongside established designers, and then also for designers to reach like a new market of people that they might not be already aligned with, is if your testers could promote for you and talk about their experience and showcase like the make that they did and how much they like it or whatever. And it also helps like whenever you link those projects in Ravelry, and people can look at the color options, because not everybody can come up with like cool color things.
Right, exactly, because sometimes that's something that I get asked a lot when I have testers for any of my color work stuff, is they ask me, like, how did you put the colors together? And then it's been really cool seeing, like, with my llama sweater, my llama is cream, and I had a range from rainbow to black to a blush pink to purple. Like, it was super cool seeing how creative people got with their colors, and I'm super excited to have all those projects to put on the Ravelry page, just because people are going to get so much inspiration with their different photos and color combinations that you can do. So it's definitely really cool to have that. And it helps with the Ravelry algorithm too, getting to have all those people share their posts.
Right, getting your design seen, and also giving people that might not have considered that pattern like a second. Give them a second to actually think, oh yeah, I kind of like what that person did. Like I tested for Courtney, I Love Timberbox, and I did the Dottie dress, and it was like a Dottie collection, so you could do like a top, a skirt, or a full dress. And I had done like a full dress, and I went crazy with the color work because it was also the colors that I had that I was working with. Yeah. It was like one type of brand and one type of fiber content. So I just stuck with it, and I played with it, moving like different striping, and it came out way different than everybody else that was testing. But it also helped sell it up for her that other people were like, oh, I didn't want that pattern until I saw that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really interested to see, like, because when I sold garments or when I designed garments before, like this one that I'm wearing, like I had pattern testers for it, but I don't feel like I've truly nailed down my style until I've done these colorwork ones, and now I feel like I'm coming more alive with that. And so I'm excited to see how having that style, seeing how people's different color combos, or just having these different testers, people being like, okay, I can make that work, because it's something that's not really seen a lot in crochet, so it's kind of my goal is to be like, let's get all those like beautiful knit sweaters and have them be as color work garments in crochet too.
Right. Yeah, it's fun to have like pictures and like play with other colors of yarn together using more than just one time.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some
designers out there that also have that stipulation, like you can only use, I would prefer for you to only use one color for this particular garment, you know?
Oh, that's
Just
true.
because it might take away from the stitch definition that they're going for.
Yeah.
You know,
I have done some tests where they did say one color here, no variegated, or no crazy striping.
Yeah, with my honeybee tee, I didn't stipulate like, okay, you need to do the yellow color for getting that honey color, but a lot of people did that. But I have one person's going to be doing it in light blue, which I think will be really pretty with the bees. But it definitely does, if you've got a specific color that kind of represents what the garment is. If people aren't using that color, it might not represent the garment as well. So
Right.
definitely pay attention to that if you're in a pattern test fair group, everybody, because designers, I know I've changed my different like rules and different things as I've met people, and like we put those in place for a reason, because otherwise it gets too disorganized. Which is what I did before.
Right. I do like when testers, like I've done some casual tests too, where they like, okay, so they might have a form where you apply, but then when it comes down to it, it's just like an email to you, and they might not have like an Instagram chat where you're chatting with other people. It's like you're alone in your testing, and it's just the only way you can reach them is through email, and then you have to sit there and wait if something happens. I mean, preferably if you're a designer, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like not as
It's
fun.
like, and it, as the tester, you get like a bit confused and lost. Like, is anybody else having the same problem? Or, and you also lose a little bit of joy, a little bit of hype,
and then you
find yourself getting lazy about working on it, maybe. And then it's hard to reach a time frame. But I've also been in some tests where they don't even have a time frame,
and it's just
when people finish is when it's ready.
So
I mean, you just find as a designer what like works for you.
Yeah.
And
the tester, this is like
your job. So whatever the designer says, don't sign up unless you can fulfill all of those things. Like you can't just pick and choose what parts that you want to be a tester about. Like I literally have a job with Knit Picks now, like We Crochet, and I know there's many of them out there that do work with them too. They have like they hire people to be like
their testers
their
and sample
makers, and anybody can go on their website and find out how to apply. But so I work with them on that, and they're like very strict on how often like you need to keep in contact with them on everything that you do. They're very strict on making sure that you get gauged.
Yeah.
I mean, they send you the yarn to do it for them, but they're also very strict. Like, you don't even get to keep the yarn. Like, you got to mail it all back to them. Which that kind of testing is really nice because I don't have to weigh all that math up for me.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, I actually have. I wonder if you'll end up testing. I have a project with them for their winter issue. So it's been interesting as a designer working with them and seeing all those restrictions. And I'm actually glad because I know, hey, if they have pattern testers that they're paying and they're sending all this stuff to, like, it will get done. Because something that I've experienced a lot as a designer is ghosting. When you send a pattern to someone and then they don't actually make it, and you try to contact them and you can't get a hold of them, or they don't tell you till like the week that it's due, hey, I actually didn't make it. Sorry about that. And
that is the worst.
That is the worst.
I mean, that's my biggest fear,
and that's why I haven't done testing in a bit.
Because of that,
I've just paid to get tech editing done. Because
I mean, it's just disheartening
to send your design out, and then
it doesn't get done, and
like
it puts you out.
It puts
Right.
That's time you don't get back.
Yeah, that's why I like stopped designing garments, because I just kept had people ghosting me, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just gonna make stuff that I don't need tested, and I can just get it edited. But it's been.
I know there are designers out there that have like blacklists too, where it's like when people out there need to know when you're applying to test and you fail, like in doing something like that, and you didn't, and you don't have a good excuse where, and you didn't get like you didn't talk to the designer about it. You just said bye. Like I'm out of here. Didn't say anything to anybody. Didn't send in any notes. Didn't anything. You're probably blacklisted and probably spoken about amongst other designers, because this is a small community, and that may mean that you'll never get to test again, and that's on you.
Yeah. Yeah, and like a lot of designers, like, they are really gracious with being like if you are a pattern tester for someone and you do have something come up, like with what's going on in the world right now, I had a pattern tester, she was like, hey, I am a healthcare worker, and I really wanted to test this pattern, but I can't anymore because I'm barely getting any sleep as it is. I don't have any time. And I was like, totally, like, no problem. Like, I'd love for you to test for me in the future, because I know that she was really excited about it, and like I was understanding and like, oh, I can find someone else. But definitely let the designer know.
I mean, life happens, for sure. You can't just say all across the board. If you didn't do it, you're out of here. You're out of here, for sure. Like, life happens, you know. Death happens. We're human, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. But you can't just be like bye and tell nobody, because sometimes if it's early in the testing, that designer might be able to get a replacement. Right. And you know, when you just decide to bail out, you also took another tester's spot. It might have been that person's first chance to ever test, and you took that away from them. You know, like, and they could have been like a great tester, valuable information that the designer could have used. But yeah, I mean, if you have a good excuse, for sure, like, I would say that the designer is definitely going to understand and give you a chance another time, as long as you give them the advance notice immediately when it happens, and don't wait the day of when the notes are due.
Yeah. Because like for us, like for me, this is my full-time job, and so this is something like, this is my livelihood. Like, if I don't get notes back from testers, if I don't get these different things and feedback to make sure this works, like, then I can't release the pattern as well as, like, great as it could be. And so then, like, that's part of my income and livelihood that kind of disappears. And so I think, like, just like what we've been saying, like, keep in mind, like, hey, this is really important to the designers, and also, like, they'll understand if life happens, and just give them notice. Give them notice ahead of time.
Right. I mean, I think sometimes, I hate to say it, but there are testers out there that are like, ooh, I want that pattern. And they just think they're getting the pattern for free.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it works, you know? Like, it is a job.
Right.
Like, legit a job. You can have fun at work, you know, but you have to do your job still. Like, you can, I mean, there are some groups that I'm in that they prefer no chatter within the group, and you can always take that chatter privately. You know, if you meet somebody in a test group and you just click, like, you guys can have your private DM chatter and whatever. But there are also some groups where they encourage you get to have great conversation within.
Yeah,
but I would say, like, if it's your favorite designer, I bet they have a testing group that you can join and see. And usually with anybody, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter, like, some of them don't even care, like, about pictures, but I do think that pictures play a strong role in being chosen.
Yeah,
Pictures are really important.
Yeah, I use that. I definitely, when I'm looking at my different applications, I do really look at the photos, just because, like we were saying earlier, it's part of our marketing, like being able to have photos of people in the design, especially like having like showcasing the wide range of sizes that something can come in, because if you look at a photo of like someone in an extra small but you're a 5XL or any other plus size, if you can't see a photo of someone in that, then you don't know, hey, can this actually fit me? And that was something that I didn't include in my listings before, but I'm going to now in the future, just to show like, hey, anyone can wear this. And the photos, just like with marketing on social media and getting the design out there more, it definitely does play a role. And
I think people like to see themselves, you know. We're a lot of us, although we're creative, are very so we might not be able to picture somebody else's design. So it does help to be able to see that, hey, it fits on somebody's body that looks like mine. So
exactly. What have been some of the negative experiences that you've had with pattern testing, whether like you don't have to share any names or anything? But
obviously I'm not going to.
Yeah, no. But
I'm not into blasting people. I'm into promoting people.
Me either. That's not what this podcast is about. What have been some of the things that like you've been challenged with as you've been a pattern tester, or even as a designer with having testers? What are some of those challenges that you've come across?
I have been in groups where it is belittling, you know, like as if maybe I didn't have the skills and I'm doing it wrong when many are struggling with it. So it's nice if a designer can take constructive criticism well. I have also been in testing groups where even the designer kind of ghosted. Maybe they had something going on and they just were not helping anybody and figuring out, and it was that would help like figure out what the problem is to be able to move forward, you know. I mean, for the most part, though, I wouldn't say that there's that much negativity in being a tester. I think a lot of the hard times are in being the designer to have the testers. Being a tester, it's like, especially with the easy ones that tell you exactly what they're expecting, and you can just check that box. Okay, I did this. Okay, I did that. Like, now I've been testing for a while, so I know like what all I want to do. But like long time ago, when I started testing, like I was saying, I think that Meg Makery Love was like the first person I tested for. And she said to me, and this was like the first test I ever did, right? She said to me I was the best tester she's ever had at that time. It's been many years now. But I went all crazy. Like I was like timing every little thing that I made. I was like measuring every little thing. Like I was so amped that I was a tester. I was like very detailed, which I still do a lot of those things, and it takes me a lot less time and focus than it did me then, because I know. But nowadays I don't time as precisely. It's kind of hard sometimes when if there's like a round where it's the same stitch count, then I can time one row and be able to add it up and know. Or like if I only worked on one project, I could also time, hey, but some designers like to know an average of the amount of time that it takes to make. It's not like necessarily that they advertise it, but it's also good for anybody if you want to sell your items to know the amount of time that it took you to make it.
Right.
So it's fun to beat your own stats too. I like to set the timer and then maybe do it like 3 times to see if I can beat myself.
That's awesome.
But yeah, for the most part, I think testing, I don't think that there's anything really horrible involved. It does nothing but better you as a crafter. Like I've applied to test for something that I might not have been so skilled at, but I learned it during the test. And that's not always for everybody. I'm very into learning things, and I know that pushing myself that way will make me do it. But some designers would prefer if you're not comfortable with a skill or don't have the skill not to apply. So you would probably want to build a relationship with the designer before applying for a skill that you don't have.
It's been cool seeing how, like, a lot of my testers don't have experience with color work. They don't do this, but I'm like, okay, here's my tutorial for how you do this, and then I really try to be there for them if they have questions about it. But a lot of them are like, oh wow, like, I've never done this before, this is my first time, and like, I've had to learn how to write it easier for beginners, because like, my first color work garment, it was a beast of a pattern. I wrote it so confusingly. I'm actually rewriting it now, and I've had to like keep extending the deadline for my testers just because like it's taken a while, but it's been cool of getting feedback from people who are new to that and being like, hey, I can really understand this, or like, I have no idea what you're talking about right here. So then I, as a designer, have to figure out, okay, how can I communicate this so that anyone can make this? And I do want to try to make them as easy as possible, but sometimes it's, when you're writing it as a designer, you're like, I think that this makes sense, but then when someone else looks at it, they're like, I have no idea what you want me to do here, and that is super humbling as a designer. Like, I know there have been moments where I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I wrote it this way, and I've had my testers have been like, you need to change all of this stuff, and it is so hard for me to do that because I have a hard time admitting I'm wrong, but the whole testing process really helps you be more humble, because you just just like,
I mean, it really improves everybody that is involved, for sure. And I understand too, you want to have a wide range of skills so that you know how readable your design is.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, I mean, it's a learning experience for everybody.
It
and
is.
If you didn't try something, then you would never know that you could do it. You know, so you might not have known that you needed to improve like your writing if you didn't have it tested for somebody to try to make it.
Right.
And it's always easy to get like really comfortable with the way you write it, and you knew the way you made it, so it makes sense in your head.
Right. Yeah, and then I've started using a tech editor too, and like having testers and a tech editor are so great as a designer, because like there was so much pattern grammar that I didn't realize that I was doing wrong, and then having the editor go through it and be like, you need to rewrite this. Now that I've gone through a couple patterns with her and seen like, okay, this is what I needed to change, I'm looking back at old patterns and being like, wow, I need to like completely rewrite that because the grammar was off or different things, and people have been saying, oh, you might need to fix this one little thing, and it's good as you keep going through that learning process, then go back and be like, how do I need to improve this old thing that I used to do in order to bring it up to what I'm doing now?
Right. I mean, I know a lot of people also don't understand the difference between tech editing and testing. So I think like being a tester does involve some tech editing too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, because it's nice if the tester goes in there and it's like, oh, hey, you misspelled whatever it is.
Or there's one too many spaces right here. You need to delete
or
that.
you missed a period, or you missed like a stitch count, or something like that. Like it's nice if the tester can tell you that, but a lot of times that's why people get tech editors, is because like you've been staring at this pattern so much, and even a tester will do that. They'll see all these repeats, and then they'll just fill in the gap because they already made it and they already knew what it was meant, and then they'll just forget when it comes to notes, like that needed to be corrected.
Right.
You know? So that's what's nice about having a tech editor. And I wouldn't say like necessarily a tester's job for that.
Yeah.
But it is definitely ideal.
Oh,
if
totally.
a tester can do that too.
Oh yeah, I've had like testers who they go through like round by round and be like, okay, you need to like change this. They'll like print out the pattern, then they'll write on the pattern to be like, okay, this needed to be added here. Okay, the stitch count is actually this. And it's so helpful, and it makes my job so much easier because of
right. And you're also going to pick that tester the next time too.
Exactly.
If they decide to come back, it's like if you went
above and beyond, you're
above and beyond,
right? Oh yeah, like my llama pattern testers, and like really all my pattern testers I've been having recently, but especially the llama kid size ones, because I don't have kids of my own. I can't make I don't have anyone to model a kid sample, so I haven't made one. I've just done the math. And that pattern, we've had to just, like, tear that apart to be like, okay, what needs to be changed? Like, they helped me fix a whole gauge issue. They helped me, like, some of them made multiple sweaters because they're like, okay, I really want to make sure we get this working. And the fact that they all were, like, willing to do that and went above and beyond giving me notes, like, I would gladly have any of them be testers for me again, because I know that I can count on them. And when you can count on testers, you will be picked again.
Right. I have also been in test groups where, like, the tester rewards after the job is done. If you've done all of the things, you might get another bonus pattern, Or bonus pattern. I mean, that's not what you're signing up for the test, but it is fun when there are designers that are like, they appreciate the work and they're like, hey, if you want to pick from my previous designs, it's all yours. I'll send it to you,
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to do that, because I've liked that designers do that, because we're not paying, so anything that we can give to be like, hey, here's a little reward. Thanks for helping me out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's also a bonus. I know Stephanie does like Easter eggs in hers too, where like she puts boo-boos in there and you have to find it, and whoever finds all the boo-boos gets like a reward. Yeah. So that's like an extra game with hers. I'm always going to rave about Stephanie. She's just amazing. She's got the whole process down. But I mean, the next person I would say has got the whole testing process down is Chantel of Knititude. But I mean, she's a knitter, so knitting and then crochet different. But there's also Ravelry groups for testers. I'm not very active in all those forums, but I am in some of those groups. It's hard to keep up with the forums sometimes.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But hey, if you want to be a tester, you just have to look for those things.
Right.
They're out there.
What are some of the like favorite things that you've had in a pattern testing group? Like you were talking about little Easter eggs in there, which now I'm like, I don't do that. Maybe I should do that. But what have been?
That's another thing. Like as a designer, it's fun. It's really nice to like test with somebody or check out other people's patterns just so you can learn something new to do. Like,
build your own new streamline.
Not to be like a copycatter or anything, but like sometimes those things are valuable. Like fun additions.
What are some other fun things?
Well, now in this world that we live in, we're doing all these virtual things. So the Pretty and Pink Sweater Group actually we still do Zooms and meetups. Since then, we're just like a group. Like we maintained our little group and still chat together. I don't know if other designers like close the group chats that we were in, but nobody ever talks in them anymore. But this one we do, so that's pretty cool. That's probably one of the coolest like test groups that I've been in.
That's great.
Another thing like
Life and Yarn.
She works with some
companies that require NDAs, like non-disclosure agreements. So there are some designers that require that, where you would have to sign a non-disclosure. I think I may have done that for Nitpicks too.
So when I work with them,
I'm not allowed to discuss anything that I work on until it's released. When it's released, then I can scream it from the rooftops, But until that, it's all like.
And I respect that, especially as a designer.
I feel like it's getting darker. But so there are some people that have secret things going on, and you do have to sign agreements for So that's definitely something different, but that brings a little fun to it too, because I feel like I'm in it. Like,
right.
I'm in the in on it.
Right. You get to know all the secrets. And
yeah, it's fun to know the secret. I mean, I don't know. As far as advice to be a tester, I would say work on your pictures, be a great communicator, improve your skills, and apply. And follow all of your favorite people. Like also, even before applying, the designers see what you work on. They see what you do. So if you're commenting on their things and they see your name all over the place and they just happen to click and see your work too, they might go out of their way when they're working on something secret, or they may never
release a tester call,
and privately message people and say, hey, I'm working on this new design. Would you be interested in testing it out for me? You know, like there's not always tester calls on things. So if you make yourself known, like that you're a fan, then and you're doing amazing work, somebody's going to want to work with you.
Right. Yeah.
So
I have people
I would say work on yourself.
Yeah. I have people who I would like put in my Instagram posts when like I haven't done that with my most recent design, but like when I was making my honeybee tea, when I had people who were like, oh, I really love this, I was like, hey, if you message me and you want to test with me, just let me know. And then I have people who like I've built some friendships with people who they just messaged me a lot, and then I chose them as my testers, and now I talk with them all the time, and it's super cool. Like if you make that designer know, hey, I really, really like this, I really want to work with you, like, and that you're willing to go above and beyond and just make that known, like, most of the time we will choose you. Like, unless we feel like it's really not a good fit, but like, we struggle enough as designers thinking our designs are good. So when people give us that affirmation, it really, really helps. And
networking is definitely a valuable thing that I don't think a lot of people give credit to, you know.
Yeah.
But also I think a lot of there isn't a lot of spotlight on Ravelry projects, and I've been really trying to improve that. That is like a huge goal of mine this year. I promised myself for somebody and I'm just doing a project, I want to be able to document all the makes that I'm doing. And I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, like just have my stuff listed on there, and then I can also look back at the end of the year on what I did. But a lot of people don't see all the features that you can put into Ravelry too, like the hook size, the gauges, the yarn you use, like when you started, when you finished it, and like all the pictures you can put in there. You can also link the design to the actual pattern. Say who you made it for. Like you can give all the details in there too of the finished measurement.
Right.
The modifications that you made.
If it's a project that wasn't for a test, like, and you did modifications, like I've gotten people messaging me on Ravelry about seeing my project and asking questions about it or whatever. I mean, I think like that isn't given that much attention, the Ravelry project feature.
Yeah, that's a really
I know that doesn't have a lot to do with testing, but I think all designers should require that for sure.
I'm gonna try to start doing that just because it is super helpful. What would be some suggestions that you have for designers with the pattern testing process? Like, what do you recommend designers should do?
Another thing that Stephanie does, because she's so perfect, she's going to watch this back if she's not already watching and be like, Kate, you're giving me so much credit. She already knows I love her. But so she makes her things like a crochet along, almost. Like, it's not a crochet along, it's a job, but I'm just saying. Okay, so she gives you actual dates to reach certain things. So, like, a date that you should have your yarn by, a date that you should have your gauge done by, a date that you should have your project started, a date you should have, like, say if it's a garment, you should have, like, say the, yoke done, or the body, or the sleeves, like every little part of it. And then she even goes to, like, the date that you should be completed, and then so that it gives you time to be able to block and take pictures. And then it's due on whatever date.
Wow.
Oftentimes, the designers will just be like, this is the due date, this is the group chat, and then either people talk in the chat or they don't. Like, if there's other people working on it and talking and showing their progress in the chat, most people will get to work on it, and you'll know the progress. If they're not, then you're like, is anybody working on it? And then that's oftentimes when a ghosting happens, and the designer's like, the date of, where are all these notes,
Right.
So I do think that helps on both ends, the tester and the designer. I think also having a form helps.
Yes.
Because you might not know everything that you need to give for an answer. So you really need to tell the tester what exactly you need. You need those finished measurements. You need X amount of pictures of this, like with it on, or if you want a flat lay, whatever kind of picture you want, you ask for it. You need, the gauge swatch met for sure. Like just putting in the form, this is where the math problems are. This is where the spelling problems are. Like all of that. And then there was another thing Stephanie does. She does like a Google Doc. So and she's the only one that I've ever tested for that does this, and I don't know why people don't do more of it. But while you're working on it, any major changes in the Google Doc, and so a lot of times testers just have the PDF, and you printed the PDF and you make all the changes on the PDF, but that if you hadn't made the changes on the PDF, or you started later than anybody, then you have to go back, scroll through all those comments, and then correct it. And that takes a lot of time. And by that point, somebody might have already not had the time to get started on it.
Yeah.
Because we all have lives with kids and everything, work and everything.
Yeah.
But she already will have edited that, and you could just revert back or reference the Google Doc and see the immediate change right then. And it's also easier on the designer because you already have the changes made, and when you go back through with notes, it won't be as much to correct, and you can release it on time or sooner.
Right. I know that's something that I am starting to do that, because I had one of my testers, just because there were so many changes that needed to be made, they were like, hey, what do you think about doing the Google Doc format so that they can make comments on it? And because when you have a group chat, it's so hard to keep track of everyone's comments, and scrolling back through messages, it gets really confusing. Like, I try to send out as many updated versions as I can when I make changes, but I definitely am trying to move towards that more organized style of like, okay, I want people to be able to have access to this so they can print it off, reprint it again if they want to. They can just have it on their phone. They can make comments on things, because it does really help when everyone can have a central place to go to, instead of being like, hey, I've got all these questions, and then 20 messages pop up in the group chat, and then you're like,
right.
No,
I mean, it's nice in the Google Doc too, because you can add a note like where it needs to be corrected, so that she can see the actual note in it.
Yeah.
I also wish that a lot of designers, which I don't really know anybody that does this, but I know I've done it before. I wish that after the testing happens, that the designers would gift their pattern in Ravelry. So it would be in the tester's library and say later, like, Knits and Knots Winnipeg, I tested a design for her, but later she ended up updating the pattern. And then she was like, hey, if you tested my pattern, let me know, and I'll send you the updated copy. Well, you wouldn't have to do that extra work if you just gifted it in the first place, and it would be in that person's library. Once you updated it on Ravelry, everybody would have got the updated copy. I don't know any designers that do that.
My hope is to do that.
because I have to go through like my email to be able to look at the updated versions that I have, or get like whatever free ones that I've accrued, from doing my job.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to do that with, like, I'm so glad we had this interview, because now I'm like, oh, I gotta change all these different things of how I do my pattern tests, but I want to try to do that just because I've had a pattern recently where I've had to go back and like make a change, and it's so helpful when you can, if you make a change to the PDF in Ravelry, and you can send out an email that goes to everyone who's bought it or has it and be like, hey, this has changed. Now you can get the new version.
It's so easy. It's amazing that place is free. I mean, the things that they offer. Also, the difference, like, I like the Instagram chats. Because I live on Instagram. I love Instagram. But I like Facebook groups. It's easier to like share pictures and add on each other's pictures, and then you have a tab where you can put the file up in there. So there are tests, like she has like a Facebook group, Sorella has like a Facebook group, and they just, hey, if you can test this, let me know. And then the file is up in the files. Once you're in the group, you're in the group. Not everybody tests that way, but I do like that too. So like, say if you're out and about, then you can just go into that file on your phone and just look at it instead of carrying something with you. Like
that's a
look up the.
I like that.
And you don't have to send an email to every single person. Like they can go into the file section and grab the file.
Yeah, that sounds way more helpful. And I've been trying to do like a Google Doc or Google Drive, because I've like had to make some videos for like my honeycomb on my honeybee sweater, because that's something that people don't really do. So I was like, oh, I made these videos, and I hadn't uploaded them into a drive until someone was like, hey, I've got trouble with this. And then that was super helpful, because I could be like, hey, I've got this link. Now you guys can all have access to this. Don't have to, because I've tried to do it with YouTube, of doing the private like video and sending it, but then some people couldn't see it, and so
there are patterns that I bought that are that way. Like Andrea Mallory, that's how she does her patterns.
Oh, okay.
They're like little private links, like you can click to. So say like when you have the digital link, there's like a little hyperlink there, and you can press it and it takes you to the video.
Ooh,
and it's like a private YouTube video.
Oh, I like that. Man, you're teaching me so much about the whole testing process that I'm like, I need to change. I need to go do this right now and change. Well, we are
so glad you guys find it helpful.
Oh yeah,
good tips.
And
I was looking over here seeing comments.
Yes, yeah. Thank you everyone for commenting. I'm glad that you guys have found this like really helpful, and all these different things are like great insights that you guys are offering to us too. And this video will be available as a replay after we're done. It will upload to my channel, so you'll be able to watch this whenever you want if you are like, oh, I don't remember that tip. And I'm hoping to have a blog post up about this soon, and then I'll just edit that in the description. But since we're almost at, well, it's 6 o'clock my time.
That's so crazy. I mean, like, tests can be talked about so much, because I feel like we only touch the surface. There's like so much still like to talk about.
Well, maybe we'll have to have a follow-up podcast episode of pattern testing part 2. And we could get.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks so much for coming on. I'm so glad that we got to chat and that you got to share all your knowledge. I've learned a lot, and I hope everyone else has learned a lot. And I would gladly have you back whenever.
Thank you. Hey, come here, Molly. Let's say bye.
Oh yeah. Get the dog. Bye. And if any of you guys have questions, real quick before we end this, just put them in the chat and we'll answer. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap up this podcast episode. And feel free to put them in the comments of this video as well, and I will go back and answer them. And I can even I'll tag Kate in it, and she can come and answer any questions you guys might have too. But since it's almost an hour, we'll let you guys go. And but it has been so much fun hanging out together and talking all about pattern testing. So thank you so much, Kate. I love having you on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.